What's the state of your website? If you're looking for a new digital experience platform or DXP to run your digital experiences, I have the book for you. The Agile Brand Guide to Digital Experience Platforms is part of my best-selling series of MarTech books. In this book, I explore and demystify DXPs and look at the roles a digital experience platform should play, the different types on the market, as well as how to initially evaluate platforms, then how to best implement a DXP once you've selected it. The book also features a foreword from Rupali Jain, Chief Product Officer at leading DXP provider Optimizely, as well as several other thought leaders in the industry. Learn more and get a copy in print or digital now by going to the Agile Brand Guide website at www.agilebrandguide.com.
Hi, this is Greg. Look for my book, The Agile Brand, on Amazon or on my website at theagile.world. Welcome back to the Agile World. This is Greg Kihlstrom. In the last episode, I started talking about what really changed to enable and allow Agile brands to come into existence, and the types of changes that have kind of necessitated that brands take a more agile approach. In the last episode, I talked about social transformation. So not just social media, but really the idea that the way that we look for things, the way that we shop, the way that we ask for recommendations, give recommendations has really been transformed over the last couple decades through the internet and then more recently through social media and really the changing behavior that brings. Today I'm going to talk about the brand as a relationship, and I think this is an important thing that I talk about in my book, The Agile Brand. And I talked about this as part of the evolution of branding several episodes back. It's kind of the final stage in the evolution of brand, or the most recent. Because I don't believe we've finished the evolution, but it's the most recent stage in evolution of branding, from really an object that you see, a logo, to an experience, and now this more two-way relationship. And there's a couple things here that I think are worth pointing out. First, I believe that this relationship, the dynamic in the relationship, is changing, and it's becoming where brands started out many years ago when there was less variety and less products on the shelf, so to speak. Brands had all the power. If you didn't want to choose one of three products, really you didn't have an alternative. I think in this world where you can go anywhere, you go to Amazon and there's a million different products that suit your needs. When you can customize things so much, consumers are getting more and more of the power, and I think that's a great thing. I think brands that embrace this and that adopt this are actually, are the ones that will be successful. They really kind of understand that, when they enable customers to get more of what they want, to customize, to really, not only give ideas, but get products that are based on their ideas, they are going to be more successful in the long term. And this is part of a relationship and a dynamic that I believe is continuing to change. And as I mentioned, at the beginning of this episode, I believe this dynamic, this evolution of brands is continually evolving, and that we will get to another stage where consumers are even more in control and have even more power. But in this current stage that we're in, this idea of a relationship, I think it started with brands really understanding that experience is key. And I think a great example of this is with Nike. Nike, obviously known for making shoes. They make a bunch of other products as well, but known for making shoes. And back in the earlier in the 2000s, I think it was about 2013 or so, when the pre-iPhone, and they came up with the Nike Plus app. Or actually, sorry, I guess this was a while. It was iPhones came out since then. So let's say early 2000s. I forget the date exactly, but Nike Plus came out when the old iPod. I don't even think they sell iPods anymore, but the iPod existed, and so they came up with this app. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Helps keep track of running and habits and stuff like that. And so It was a novel app. Certainly over time, it's gotten a lot more sophisticated as iPhones came out, and now iPhones are basically little supercomputers at this point. So gotten very sophisticated. There's an online component, all of that kind of stuff. But at the time, I think the interesting thing about it, and what really was smart about Nike doing this, was they understood that in order to remain relevant, Nike had to be more than just about shoes. They had to be more than just about selling clothes and outfitting people to take part in sports. They needed to be part of a lifestyle. And in order to do that, they saw this idea of this device. I mean, at that point, it was the iPod. I mean, I think they were way ahead of their time, anticipating how everyone is going to be carrying a smartphone, these days, and stuff like that. I think they were way ahead of the curve there by understanding, okay, well, we can only sell so many shoes so many times to a person, but if we can get inside their heads, if we can get inside their habits and really help them embrace their lifestyle, facilitate their lifestyle, then all of a sudden we are going to be top of mind all of the time. Every time they go running, every time they use this app, they are thinking about Nike. They may not be purchasing every day, but there is this ongoing relationship where I don't think about another shoe brand when I run anymore. I think about Nike because I use their app to help me. So I think that's just such a powerful example of a meaningful relationship. Again, when we talk about brands as relationships, it's not a touchy-feely relationship. It's a pretty practical one, but it serves a need. It solves a challenge. And I think when brands really do that, they are definitely much more successful than a brand that is just trying to insert themselves into a conversation where they don't even, they don't necessarily belong, or that just doesn't really fit with what the brand does. Nike Plus is so in line with what Nike does, what they're about, all of that it makes so much sense. And I think it exemplifies this idea of brand as relationship. So the next thing I'm going to talk about in the next episode is market disruption. Thanks for listening. See you next week. If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, please rate the show on iTunes or contact me through my website at theagile.world. You can find my books, The Agile Brand and The Agile Web, on Amazon and on my website at theagile.world.